Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence for their outstanding service to the LGBTQ community. First off, Sister Unity and Sister Lydia. Our next guest is the only openly gay Major League Baseball player, current or former, alive today.
The next day.
He swings here and he drives one into center field. Deep. DeLuca back. He looks up. Goodbye. Way out of here. And there's a grand slam. And the Giants have broken it open here.
The next day.
The Giants get their first sweep in LA since 2012. They score the most runs they've ever scored in a 3-game series.
Yes, when I come back, I think I dropped this video one day ago about these humiliations I saw. These people took up a decision to insult Christianity, which is something I don't always like to talk about. For those who never saw this video, I had to re-edit out some part on that video because I realized it was having a yellow sign.
A fringe group like this? Honored, awarded, celebrated? There is no equality in mocking women religious, no tolerance in hate, no pride in anti-Catholic bigotry. Mocking Christians is not the Dodger way.
Several days later.
Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence for their outstanding service to the LGBTQ community. First off, Sister Unity and Sister Lydia. Our next guest is the only openly gay Major League Baseball player, current.
Thousands demonstrate Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence outside Dodger Stadium hours before start of Pride Night. I don't know if you have seen this. The stadium is totally empty. According to this article recently published by Fox News, several hours before the first pitch was thrown at the Los Angeles Dodgers Pride Night, a large group of demonstrators gathered outside the stadium gate. The religious organization Catholics for Catholics, which has previously described the Sister of Perpetual Indulgence as godless.
Trevor, why did you feel so strongly that you wanted to make that statement?
It had to be said. We cannot stand idly by while our Lord gets mocked. And before I hit send, you try and do as much research as you can, right? You see the horrific videos that were posted of them. You read about what they were trying to do. These things that are deeply offensive to us. And then you see that, well, they're doing these things. They're raising money for this, that, and the other. They've been doing it for over 30 years. But it was the point when the Dodgers re-invited them after knowing very well what they've been doing for the last 30 years.
To give them a Community Hero Award.
Correct. And at that point, I looked at the Dodgers Code of Conduct. I'm like, look, or the Dodgers Fan Code of Conduct, and it said you cannot wear anything or say anything that goes against anybody's age, gender, creed, religion. And at that point, it was like, this is going against their code of conduct. It's a blatant anti-Catholic message that they're sending, regardless of how much, quote unquote, good they've been doing in their community. But when I saw how deeply offensive it was, doing awful things to the cross, doing awful things about Stations of the Cross, it became a point where these negatives are not, they shouldn't be honored, and they shouldn't mock a certain.
Earlier this week, Catholics for Catholic announced its intention to hold a 4-hour prayerful processions in the hours leading up to Friday games. The sister will receive the Community Hero Award during a pre-game ceremony as part of Dodger Pride Night. An article posted to the Catholics for Catholics article website noted that everyone was welcome to join the demonstrators. All are welcome to join this event in preparations for in reparations for the offensive committed against our Lord Jesus Christ against all Christians by the Sister of Perpetual Indulgence. The article said social media video posted several hours before the start of the game show what appeared to be thousands of people outside Dodger Stadium with flags and signs. The group also appeared to pray. Earlier this week, the sister said they did not take issues with groups who decided to express themselves through demonstrations. After 27 years of activism and protests ourselves, including the ones fighting Propositions 8 for our right to marry the ones we love, we certainly cannot complain. Expressing their First Amendment right, the sister said in a statement sent to Los Angeles Times, anyone who was interested in attending 1,000 demonstrations was previously instructed to meet at a parking lot near Dodger Stadium. A little less than 2 hours before the start of the game, demonstration began lining the sidewalks near the stadium and appeared to block one of the entrances to Dodge Stadium.
Voices heard even before the first pitch. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher live outside Dodger Stadium with more on what has some Catholics so upset. Michelle?
Dodgers Pride Night.
We should be tolerant of everybody. Likewise, they should be tolerant of our faith and our feelings.
Shirts and signs sprinkled in the crowd calling for a boycott of the Dodgers after the team invited the sisters to accept a Community Hero Award as part of tonight's festivities.
What the Dodgers are doing, allowing this group to be here, it goes against the Catholic faith.
If they were to do that with a Muslim group, no one would put up with that.
Sisters telling KABC at last week's Angels Pride Night the entire house plans to attend tonight's Dodgers game. This after a controversial back and forth that saw the sisters initially invited by team, then uninvited, then finally re-invited amid backlash. Inside the stadium, Dodgers manager Dave Roberts addressing the controversy.
I do think that we should still all be able to coexist. And for me, it just always goes back to loving everyone. And as the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, a baseball team, we welcome anyone that comes through these gates to support our ball club.
That we should coexist with every person. We are all humans. That I'm not refusing. The kind of disrespect, religious organizations get from some of these people is actually disturbing, because they have made it in such a way that when you go against their own narratives, we all know their agenda, like what they stand for. So that kind of religious aspect, when you want to look it critically, it becomes a problem to some of these people. The reason they're coming out to demonstrate against some of these issues, they made it clear because they are godless, which is something we all know. So if Catholics taking up these decisions to stand up for what they believe in, they are right. Yes. I don't want to go further into giving opinions in certain issues like this.